What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Slash. Now, this figure might look just a smidge familiar. That's because this is the exact same figure of Slash that we got in Age of Extinction. Just a different paint scheme. Instead of that weird green or different colors of green, we've got a kind of metallic sky blue, a darkish green blue, and silver and gray. And that's about it. The overall aesthetic of the figure is actually pretty good, but I would have liked some more traditional Dinobot colors. That's just me. The overall look of the figure is good, and that head sculpt remains fan-freaking-tastic. I love this head sculpt. It's really, really nice, though it doesn't totally look like it goes well with this figure. Now, even though the figure looks really, really good, it's got some major problems in robot mode. If you've ever had this figure, or have ever seen reviews of this figure, the problems have to do with the legs. 1, my figure has very low ball joints in the hips. That I can fix. 2, poseability is limited thanks to these thigh struts, I guess. 3, the way the transformation works, these pieces that are the shins and the front feet do not lock into place at all. So they move around very easily, so you're going to run into problems with it. Specifically the fact that the figure will be standing 1 minute, this will move or slide, and the figure will then go kerplop. 4, this figure is got some poseability problems, chiefly because of the amount of bulk in the shoulders and in the arms. He can't really pose his arms at all. He can move them forward like that, but forget trying to do that. Now, you can get a little attack claw gimmick going, thanks to the transformation, like that, but there's nothing else you could really do. Now, he does have some weapons stored on his backpack, specifically these feather protrusions off of the dino arm, and unfortunately, like the previous version of the figure, these are very soft plastic, very, very soft plastic, and have a tendency to be stuck wherever you can fit them. So if you could fit them in the hands, great, but getting them out of the hands is a pain in the butt. You could fit them here on the back of the little dino arms, great, that's fantastic, but getting them out of there, as you saw, requires a large amount of effort. So there is that. I can't argue with the shiny metallic paint on his chest, though. It works really well, and it's all over the figure in different spots, which I appreciate. Poseability, ball joint in the shoulder, swivel at the upper arm. There's technically an elbow that doesn't work real well. No poseability in the hands. Torso does have some articulation, ball joint in the hips. There is a thigh swivel. There is 90-degree bend at the knee and some foot articulation, and the head can swivel side to side. It cannot look up or down. Oh, and his shoulders are posable as well. So you do have shoulder posability. So there is that. Transformation into Raptor mode is a little bit on the complex side, but let's go ahead and get into it. To start off with, we will first fold the hands up and flip out the forearms, then flip the dino claws around, or I should say the dino feet, like so, and just kind of leave them pointing out. Next, we'll come to the legs, and the first thing we're going to do is take the thigh swivel and turn them around so that the dino raptor face is pointed to the outside of the figure instead of the inside of the legs. Then come to the part that were the shins and flip them 180 degrees around while folding up the toes. And then we can sandwich the dino head together, straighten the legs out, sandwich everything together, fold those winged sections down, and then grab the shoulder pads and pull them up, thus freeing the dino claws. Flip them down, and as you flip them down, that gives you space to flip the shins back into place, peg them together. Flip the dino legs all the way around, and then these, or this big section that's rotating, will peg into the shoulder pads, or the shoulders, I should say. And we can get the legs down, like that. Close the shoulder pads down to form the abdomen of the dino mode, and take the giant rubbery tail, flip it up over the head, and with a bit of force, snap it into place in front of the chest. This is by far the hardest part of the transformation because these plastic bits that go through this metal, this is by far the hardest part of the transformation. These little rounds have a lot of friction on them, and they don't want to necessarily go all the way over and stay into place. So you kind of have to just force it with quite a bit of force. And then we can grab the dyno mouth, open it all the way up, fold up and out the dyno head, like so. Bring the Raptor arms down, and then pose the legs the way you want them to, and make sure you close everything back up, because things will get pushed out of place because you were flopping things around. The Raptor mode we end up with looks pretty darn good. The tail is a little bit floppy because of that rubber tip, but the overall look of the dyno mode is well detailed and looks neat. I love the fact that it looks like a giant evil chicken. Those eyes and teeth are well painted and look fantastic. The blue really works well in this mold. It kind of reminds me of Gino, or Godzilla in name only, the iguana Godzilla in the Matthew Perry movie. Ugh, bad movie. Overall, it's a good dyno mode, but there are some issues here. Chiefly, the hips, or the shoulders, I should say, in dyno mode, or the robot shoulders, hips in this mode, are a little loose, totally fixable. And the giant feathers that are the axes in robot mode get in the way, so they do constantly hit up against the gut, or the gut of the figure. So there is that. That is annoying, but not much I could do about it. Also, it's really spiny everywhere. I'm not a huge fan of all the spikes and spines. I get what they're going for aesthetically. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I would have preferred a little bit more robot going on. Poseability is pretty good. You can get the head and the legs to pose in interesting ways. And yes, I'm sure we could get a Transformer to ride this dude. So as you can see, a Legends class figure can ride the dinosaur. Hi-yo, shiny dinosaur, away! Overall, Slash is an okay figure. It's not great. And it's a big problem that I have with the entire movie line. You end up with a bunch of figures that are super highly detailed in all nearly monochromatic colors that are just okay. There's nothing super standout about this figure other than the insanity of his transformation. And this is a difficult transformation. This is not an easy one. And I can see where this figure would not have sold or won't sell all that well, simply because the difficulty of said transformation. See, I'm even having difficulty with it after, just transforming it. It's not awful, though, and I kind of wish I could get a hold of the Slash that I originally had, as it's currently in storage, and I just don't know where in storage. So I can't really compare it to the original figure, but there is nothing different from what I can tell of photos, so there's that. I'm really getting tired, or I'm really disappointed in Hasbro with reusing all of these molds, because this and Slug are going to be coming out, and we've already got Grimlock in that weird silver color that the Voyager class figure is. This is a much better color. I think this blue and green work really well together, even if the figure isn't that great. But we will see what the rest of the line brings. I'm personally waiting for the Megatron figures to come out, because I'm really hoping they come out soon, because those things look rad. So gang, I hope you've enjoyed this video review. As always, I am Baltmatrix. I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.